I'm 7 Deadly Sims, and today I'm doing my room and my sim for the Mega Mansion Collab Challenge, hosted by Miss Unfortunate and Erin with a Y, who are just amazing. And there are 16 other simmers in the collab, all of which are incredible, and we're all going to do a room and a sim that's inspired by said room. And as you can see, I'm doing the kitchen, which is my favourite room, so I am so pleased to be doing it. Though I won't be talking about it right now, and I'll get onto that in a little bit, because it's basically all going to change from where it is now, so there'd be no point talking about it. But after we've all built our rooms, which you can watch right now, then Erin with a Y will show off her gorgeous exterior of the mansion, and Miss Unfortunate will tour the full build with all of our rooms, plus her halls and foyers, etc. But there's a twist. Which is not sinister. I don't quite know why I said it in such a weird voice. But this is a competition, and it's for the self-satisfaction of winning and the prize of a stuffed pack. And you can win one too, as gifted very generously by Miss Unfortunate. All you have to do to be entered is to be subscribed to Miss Unfortunate and Erin with a Y, which, to be honest, you should be doing anyway because they're incredible, and leave a comment on all participating videos voting. To vote, leave a number from 1 to 10. 1 is the worst and 10 is the best. For example, 7 out of 10 would be really good, but still room for improvement. The winner will be announced on September 9th, so put it in your calendars on Miss Unfortunate's channel, and I will link all participants in the description, so go check out the videos, subscribe, vote, like, all that stuff. I know I'm one of the smallest, if not the smallest, channel in the collab because I'm mostly focused on Instagram, so you can go check me out there. I will link it in the description. And I only started this channel quite recently, so I'm so grateful to be invited to this collab, which is very, very exciting. And all information will be in the description, so you should definitely go and check out everybody else's builds and get yourself entered into the giveaway. But now we can talk about the actual kitchen, because I know that all that was a lot of information and quite rambly and probably sounded very scripted, because it was very scripted, because I have about the memory of a goldfish, so I had to write down to make sure I definitely got everything sorted. But now we can talk about the actual build. So as you can see, I'm going for quite a darker theme, a bit more traditional, but I still wanted to keep modern utilities like a modern oven and a modern fridge. Utilities, they're called appliances. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak today. I don't quite know what's wrong with me. This probably wasn't a good day to do this voiceover, but here we are. I changed the layout of this kitchen quite a few times because of the windows. Well, it's actually the Eco Lifestyle door, but at this point I did not have Eco Lifestyle. I have since got it, so if you download it off the gallery, that door will be replaced by the one from Eco Lifestyle. But I use windows that are very, very similar for this build, but I wanted to figure out how to use windows on that wall so then there's a bit more light in the kitchen, because the kitchen is, well, I always think it's a light and happy space where you can just cook and you can be with family, etc. So I really wanted to optimise the window space, and by having the kitchen on that wall it didn't really work. So I'm going to flip it all in a little bit to this wall where the little dining nook is. There is actually a dining room next door done by the amazing Simply Unique, but I thought that a little dining nook in here wouldn't matter too much, though if it does, I'm very sorry and you could all give me a 1. But I thought that it worked with this room because it's so big. It's 10 by 10. I needed to be able to fill it with something, so I did a bar as well, and thought that maybe you could have breakfast here, or if you've got friends over while you're cooking, then they could grab a drink at the bar and you could all sit at the island talking while you're making the food. Though I actually created this kitchen for an elderly sim that I imagine to be the grandparents of the kids who live at the house and the parent of the dad who lived at the house. And I imagine that, given that it's a very big house, that both the parents are very busy working a lot of the time. So the grandma has to step in and do some cooking and help around the house a little bit. So I made this kitchen for her. The family could probably afford 20 cooks and 20 cleaners with the size of a house, but I think that the grandma really loves spending time with the grandkids, and given that she doesn't see much of her son nowadays because he's working so hard, that maybe she likes to have interactions with the grandkids as they sort of remind her of the son, which sounds a little bit sad, but she just loves the grandkids, and her son obviously still sees her because she's round so often, and it's not supposed to be sad. She's happy, I promise you. She looks happy, the sim I made. But we will get on to talking a little bit more about her when I show you her at the end of the video. So now we have flipped the room so we can get those windows on the side of the door, and I'm sort of working on the bar area again now, which I worked on probably the most out of the entire build because I could not figure out which bar to use, because this one had that ugly gold bar at the end that just didn't work with the theme of this room. I reckon people could make it work really nicely, but not with this room theme. So I tried to cover it up with these counter pieces. I ended up really liking that, though when I did play test it at the end, the bar wasn't functional, so I had to move it all forwards towards the dining area, and I had to jumble it around a little bit, but it doesn't look really that different from what it looks like now at the end, so don't worry, it's not changing a heap, it's just a little bit forwards. And now we're adding the clutter, because usually I clutter as I go, but today I mixed up a bit and I cluttered at the very end, sort of after I'd got everything down. I think it's because it was such a big room that I really wanted to make sure that I had everything in the right place and could fill the room before I added all the little bits. But now we're adding some plants around because I just love plants, and I sort of imagined that the grandma really likes to look after things, and plants are definitely included in that. So maybe she just comes round, waters all the plants, cooks a meal, they all eat it together in the dining room next door, and I imagine it's just really happy times. But now I am cluttering up this little bookshelf that I added here, and I tried to make the books from Tiny Living match, and I have deleted it now, but I will come back to that bookcase because I wanted to try something a little bit different, maybe have a little side table, but as you can see I couldn't really make it work, so I added that back in, and I added some counters below it to make it seem almost continuous from the kitchen, and I put a little modern fruit bowl on the side here, so then the kids could just go in, grab whatever fruit they want, etc. I wanted to make it look a little bit more homely, so I added a little rug by the sink, and I also experimented with a little bit of brick on that corner bit. I do think I keep that, yeah. And now we're going to clutter up the kitchen sides with a microwave, though I don't actually imagine that the grandma uses that a lot, and that's probably more for the convenience of the children or the parents, because I imagine the grandma really values a home cooked meal that's not processed and is all healthy but really tasty, and I imagine that that's the sort of meals that she loves to cook rather than microwave meals. But I think that especially if you're playing The Sims, microwaves are very useful for at least my gameplay, so you've got one there if you need it. You'll also see that I did put in a second sink, which is just on the side by the fridge, which you can see there, and I really like that idea because I've seen it in a few of my friends' houses in bigger kitchens, and I really like how it's maybe not the main sink, you can use it for washing up, etc. Because this family doesn't actually have a dishwasher, well, a proper dishwasher. I imagine that maybe they had one built into the cabinet, but I had a look at using one of the dishwashers, but it didn't really fit with the aesthetic of the build, and I didn't like it, so I didn't use it, which, to be honest, when I'm playing The Sims, I never use them anyway, even if they are there, because I just drag all my plates to the sink, which I think actually can make it break, because my sinks break a lot. But I mean, if it gets the handiness skill up, I don't really mind, to be fair. And now we're trying to add a little bit of extra clutter because I felt like something was missing a little bit. So I end up adding a light above the dining table in a bit, and I also add this little vase thing that we had over on the other side by the bar to add in more colour over this side, that little pink. I wanted some more of that, but I felt like we also had too many plants, so I did actually put the soap in there, which I've never really done before, but I really liked the idea, and I think it's quite a fun alternative to just a normal soap dispenser thing. So I thought that while I was just decorating up and cluttering up the sides, etc., that I'd just do a run through of who's in the collab and what we're all doing, though this will all be in the description. But I'm doing the kitchen, then the dining room is by Simply Unique, the living room by Simply Tierra, the recreation room is by Murmur Play, the gym slash spa is by Princess Jasmine, the first bedroom by Maggie Jeppard, the second by an introverted gamer, the third by Becca Town Sims, the bedroom 4 is by IMS, the fifth by Mr. Des Sims, the sixth is by Lucy Green YouTube, the seventh is by Vic Sims, and the eighth is by Miller Play Sims. And then obviously the exterior was Erin with a Y, and the full tour will be done by Miss Unfortunate. But we've actually almost got to the end of this build, and we're just adding some extra details, like I add one of these little Alexa type things. I'm not quite sure what they're called in the game, but I think I'm gonna leave you now, and I'll see you in a minute for the sim. Baby, I'm losing my mind now. Baby, I've been trying so hard, yeah, to find a way to your heart, to your heart. Maybe I'm crazy. Hi, it's Creator Sim time. So I originally actually made a child sim for this collab, as you can see in the bottom left corner, but I wasn't really happy with it and I couldn't figure out a clear storyline. I sort of just thought, well, maybe her dad's a chef and she wants to become a chef. But then I thought maybe there's the grandma, and I was much happier with that idea. So this is me just making the grandma. There was a randomised sim that I made into the grandma, and her name was already Adeline or Elena, and I actually really liked that name, so I sort of just kept it. I hope you don't mind, but I thought it was a fun name, and I never really used a name like that before, and I often get into I find it really hard to name Sims, so I just kept that. Though I do, of course, change her traits, which you will see in a little bit. But I wanted to make her your typical grandma who's got like grey hair and wrinkles and just really warm and nice and very flowy outfits that are maybe a bit old fashioned but comfortable. And I thought that she was just really friendly and a typical grandma who basically just feeds you all the time. Hence why she's in the kitchen cooking meals all the time. I think she's just a really nice, cheerful person. And you can see now that I've done her traits. So her aspiration is to have a big, happy family. She's a foodie, she's very family oriented, and she's a cheerful sim. Now here I was messing around with some necklaces, and I choose this ring one here. I end up putting on all of her outfits because I sort of imagined that maybe that's her wedding ring or her engagement ring. And then after her husband died, she put it on this necklace around her neck so it was closer to her heart. And I thought that was a really cute idea. So I put it on all of her outfits, even her sleep one, as though she always wears it to remember him by. And you'll also notice that all of her outfits are very colourful, and that is because I usually have one sim and I put a colour on their everyday wear and I like it, so I have the colour for the entirety of the sim. But I imagine Adeline to be very colourful and to really like to wear lots of bright colours because she's a really happy sim, and bright colours I think are very happy. And so I put her in lots of different colours, even though as a whole they don't necessarily go together, but I think it's more realistic that way. And I know that my wardrobe has not just got one colour in, and I think that lots of people wouldn't just have one colour in their wardrobe. But we're actually almost at the end of this video, so make sure to look in the description for all the information about the collab and how to enter the giveaway and how to vote. Make sure to go and vote on all the videos and to subscribe to everyone, and you can watch everyone's videos now, and then Miss Unfortunate is going to be doing the full tour of the entire build, so definitely go and look at that as well. I'm going to go now, so I hope you enjoy the screenshots, get into the giveaway entry, and like and subscribe if you like this video, I guess. Bye! Baby, I love you.